So, welcome again everybody. We're still here in the town of Lisbon, and as you can see there's only approximately 3 POIs on this leg, and they're all very relatively close to this airport. So while I get my plane set up, what I'm going to do on this leg is going to be slightly different, as we'll take a wee look at these POIs in the town of Lisbon, round about this area, and then we're going to use some of the skills on flight planning that I'm going to use with the plane, and hopefully we can do some fancy stuff on the way down to the next airport. So I've cut out quite a bit of this setup on this one because this video did take a wee bit longer to do, and it did crop up like, could we say, a few hiccups at the start here, because while this was my first time in and recording this section here, what I didn't notice at the time was my little external drive hadn't been connected correctly to the Xbox on this occasion. So when I started my recordings, I thought I was still recording quite a bit, until I came maybe midway on this first try and realised that it wasn't connected, and it was only the first 10 minutes of what the Xbox records on the drive. It won't go any longer than that. So I got as far as practically taking off and seeing a couple of the POIs, and that was the first stage in that video. So obviously I couldn't use that video going ahead for the next, to carry on with the rest of the flight. So I tried it again. So while you see me setting up here just now, this is still the first attempt setting up. And then on the second attempt, I didn't realise that was what the problem was because I thought my external drive was in, it was all lit up, it was all working as though it was perfect. Did a couple other tests with scenarios. So the second time I took the plane out again, I realised, I don't know, I think it was maybe around the same point that it had done the same thing again, and that's when I had to look into more investigations. And it was later in the day before I recorded the third and final attempt on the rest of the flight, and luckily I didn't get in too far into the actual leg, which is quite good, because if I'd got all the way to the end of the leg and realised I never recorded, I think I'd be kicking myself up. I was getting annoyed as it is with just the first couple of minutes or so. So I think I would have thrown my sim out the window at that point. But it wasn't the actual sim on that occasion. It was me, my wee drive, because it's a wee USB drive. It just didn't connect, and I just had to restart the Xbox and then got it connected on that one. So we did get this proper recording out of it. So while we're setting up here, what we're going to do is, when you see the flight plan coming up in a wee second, the 3 POIs that were listed at the start are relatively very, very, very close. So you'll see this in just a wee second, and I'll show you what I'm going to do, what my plans are for this leg, and to try and get used to using this plane and the proper instruments again, and using some of my knowledge, because I want to try and remember, and like what I said before, I want to keep it all fresh in my brain so that I can take over manually whenever needed. So you'll see here in a minute, I think I range out here. I think, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off from runway 20 for starts, because I think the ATC directs us to 02, going in the opposite direction, and I don't want to double back on myself. So yeah, I do zoom out. So this is the first POI there, relatively towards the edge of the coast, just this wee bit here. And then I think the other one, I think the third one isn't in my sim at the moment. It's only got like that tower, and then I think it was the guy's statue, the Christ statue on the other side, and then from there onwards it's pretty much a straight down to the airport. Instead of going straight down to the airport, you'll see me hovering over that VLR there, which is what I thought about using, but it was going to take me too far away. So we ended up using that waypoint, that APR, which is a DME. I think does the same sort of job. So I tuned myself in for that is it APP? Because what my plan was is to use that, come down along the coastline, all the way down to the bottom, and then I'm going to use a VOR down in that pointy section down there. You maybe can't quite see on the flight plan here, but there is a VOR just right on that corner, so that's going to take me along the coast and then along the coast again and into the airport. So that was my plan, and then I don't have to jump across the hills and things over the rest of Spain. So fingers crossed this all goes to plan. And I think what I do here just before this section cuts off, where I lost my recording, is I think I just managed to get in that frequency for this APP. And I was doing this on Navigraph, so I didn't put APP in Navigraph, but I knew the DMA, I knew the frequency station from the VOR down at the bottom, because I was always planning going there. So when I seen this APP on this plan, I thought we'll use this as the other point. So this is me just looking up the frequency to tune into and the bearing and things. Hopefully I'll find it on here quite easily. Fingers crossed. There we go, here we go. I think these was the VORs, and there we go. So that's the one there I'm looking for. Is it APR or APP? Can't see it from a distance here, but that's the one I pick. So you can see it's a heading of one. So the frequency is there is 108.30 for starters. So I'll put that in. I was trying to use this bit here to load it in, but I think I manually type it in. Do I? Yeah, I do. Like I said, I've done this bit twice. On the third occasion. I really wish I'd kept this very first recording, because it was going to be fantastic. So this is where it jumps. I'm taxiing from the second recording round. And then because ATC was going to take me to 02, what I'm going to do is ignore ATC on this occasion. ATC would be having a field day with me doing what I'm about to do. I'm not doubling back on myself. I'm not causing extra hassle, because if I see these POIs again, too soon. Then but hopefully just me taxi ribbon will keep on jumping back, because it is trying to keep on still bring me back to 02, which I'm not taking off from, so I'm not planning on doing that. And the reason I use the taxi from the second bit is because there's some people here on the server, and I've noticed that that big airliner to my left, it just came in and landed. I think he's about to get taxi clearance up this way, by the looks of things. I don't want to crash. I know we don't crash on the sim when we fly through everybody, but in the courtesy of being nice and friendly to my fellow multiplayers, I think what I'm going to do is, once I get up to this sort of wee hold line here, up here, is I'll stop and I'll give way to the airliner. Couldn't decide if he was giving way to me already, but I'll stop here anyway. I'm smaller than him, so I'll stop here and let the airliner taxi across. Fingers crossed he's not coming my way. I think he's noticed what I'm doing, so it does look as though he's moving. Yep. Please, please, please don't come my way. I'm doing you the courtesy and waiting on you. Does look as though he's going to zoom right across from the angle he's in. Or she even. Yeah, I think we've got away with it. And I think, was there somebody just sitting off to the right hand side there as well? I think they were coming in to meet their buddy. And what we'll do is, if in we're out our road, is we'll take off and we'll taxi around them. So it was a busy airport the second time around, so that's why I wanted to use this taxi footage. Yep. There we go, so we'll zoom past them, and like I said, we'll taxi down to the bottom of this runway. Yeah, I couldn't decide if they were in chatting or they were just in there parking, I don't know. We're being nice and friendly, and we'll be a friendly pilot. And as you can see, it was a lovely clear day again. So Just looking at that taxi lines once again. Zoom down here. And I think at this stage it tries to attempt to get us to taxi up the runway and turn round. Of course ATC is great in the sun, but yeah. It'd be good maybe in the new sim when they said that this was all improved, or even with that last live stream that I watched. They did say they were going to try improving some of this on this version as well. So we'll soon see what kind of updates that entails. But we'll come round here, and I'm sure when I parked up here, this is where my second recording cut off, because I did start it a wee bit later the second time round, so that I could hopefully cut out the start, because I'd already recorded some of that with the first one. Thought I'll start it closer to after I'd started at my plane number, and I started it then. So I think it got down to this section here and then cut off again. So, but at that stage when I flew the second time round, I didn't obviously realise that it was still not recording again. So what I've done is that wee bit there, zoom there, is me just spawning on the runway for the third and final attempt. And this is when I realised everything was hunky-dory, because by that now, as you can see, if you can see my clock time at any stage in this, you can see it's very, very much later in the day, because I was doing a lot of investigations in between to figure out what was going on, and it took me longer to actually come in and do the flight. So, fingers crossed you all enjoy this and it all goes to plan. So let's see. Try and stay centre line as much as possible here. And because I've restarted the sim just spawning on the runway for this version, ATC is going to give me clearance to jump up, because it knows I'm coming off a runway 20. So at this stage we're all hunky-dory and we're not getting shouted at for lifting our nose too soon. Okay, so I'm just putting myself on autopilot quickly. And the reason for me putting myself on autopilot so quickly is because you can see with the amount of pins that are flying around, Lisbon is very, very close. This wee town centre. So I'm just getting as much of these POIs as I can into the video. And I'll just let the plane slowly, gradually get me there. And you can see there off to the left as we come down here, this is where that big bridge was in the last leg. So we are sort of flying back towards that direction again. Yep, a big multi-bridge. I'm just in the plane at the moment, just making sure everything's still hunky-dory. And I'll come back out and I'll show you this. Okay. Now, as you can see, my plane was turning around there because just down there was the tower, and that was the first user point I put in. So it said that we got to the tower, turning round, and then the second POI should be just the other side of this bridge. And this is the stage that I got to in 3 attempts. Luckily I'd noticed before I went any further. I do tend to do that a lot. I tend to double check before I go the rest of the flight that I'm still recording, and I'm glad I do that little check, because if I hadn't done that I would have carried on way too far and not knowing what else to do. So this is all looking good. We are still recording at this point, so on we go, onwards and upwards. We'll get ourselves configured, hopefully, if this works. I don't know if it will. Put myself on heading mode at the moment. Heading down in that direction, because I don't, and as you can see, I'm still not kind of going in the way that I want to go in. So what I want to do because I've seen that wee nav lock bit up in the corner of my thing, which I know that if you turn this it's not going to do anything, so that's why I'm using heading mode to get myself round. If I'm going right, that is. It should be 136 bearing from round about this point. Is that what I've got? Is that coming in that direction? It's heading close to it. But what I've noticed is that wee nav lock, that wee orange box that appears, I think that crops up when you're not in frequency range of what you're trying to do. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's what I'm starting to think, because I did try a couple of times before doing VORs in this plane. Somehow it seemed to work when you're actually in range of the actual frequency you're tuned into. So that was just a wee bit of my sim glitching up there. So we're still heading in the right direction at the moment. So I think we'll stay on heading mode, because I don't know if this still works properly and if it was the right way that I configured it. But my main aim is to get to that kind of point and then use the frequency that I know that I'd already planned straight down to the side of the edge of the coastline. And my aim was to do that, was to keep me coming down the edge of the coast without having to use GPS for a while. I want to try and use some other method. Start learning again. So I think this is me configuring myself with the VOR that I definitely knew right from the very start of what I was going to do. And because I know we're not working on that one, I'll change myself over to that VOR, because it's not working anyway. There you go. So See, it's trying to figure out whether it wants to come on or come off. So what we'll do is I'll stay in heading mode. I'll use what I was going to do up to this little waypointy bit here. I think this is where I check to make sure I know what bearing I'm going down for the other VOR. I think I'm just going back to check. What's that, 170 bearing? Is it 180? So I wonder if we tune this into $180 or thereabouts, would I have sorted myself? Is that right? I don't know. I could be wrong here, but I'm trying to preempt myself. And as you can see, while we were doing that, we're more or less at that point of the edge. So what I'll do is I'll bring my heading bug round to the way that I kind of want to go. And hopefully, fingers crossed, get myself into nav mode again. Yep, when my wee lock version's off, I'm in that now. Can I press nav and be, look at this. Oh, you've taught me well. Am I getting it right? Getting it right? Fingers crossed. I'm in nav mode. Set up for that VOR. Heading down away from the magenta line, yep, in the direction of where I want to be. Oh yes. So my aim was to come down the side edge of this coast. Like I said, have I done this right? And as you can see, I'm 80 odd miles away. So rather than bore you with loads of sea, I think what we'll do, just make sure we're still going to be going in the right direction here. It's looking good. And what I could have done at this stage here is cut part of this out. I think I wanted to make sure that everything was up and running and I was doing things right. Nothing funky was going to go ahead before I switched myself back off again recording, because I don't want to record all the flight and then miss the approach coming in. So I think usually with these sort of wee boring sections I usually stop myself manually and then restart myself again when I need to, And I think that was me just showing you that if I took myself off course, that I'm following. I think that's what I was trying to do a test as well, just to make sure I was set up right. And that means if I took myself off that wee line for the VOR, then we would deviate and go slightly weird, which is what the plane's doing. So I'm glad we're all set up by the looks of things. Don't think I've done anything wrong. We'll zoom ahead and just show you outside. Coming over the water, down the edge of the coast. Quite a few people here on the server by the looks of things. Yep, and I think, it's just me just check my message. Well, we're pretty much going? Where are we going? Yeah, I'd say we're pretty damn close to that. Aye. So I don't know why it wanted me to change. I think we'll put ourselves back on. Maybe that's because it was trying to change it for the GPS course, which is a possibility. So we'll ignore that and put ourselves back up again, because we're not following GPS anymore. I know my plan's still in at the moment. It's possible that it was trying to tell me to go back onto course with the GPS, which I don't want to do. I want to try and see if I can use my VOR skills here. Head down this way. It is all looking hunky-dory. It's going to get pretty blunt. Oh, that's why I left this bit in, because when I was setting myself up and noticing that VOR, the Navigraph, before I even took off, I'd already figured out a way of coming in to the airport, and it was using this DMA VOR thingy here, but I thought would work, hopefully, and it was through that Venal version. So we'll see a wee bit later on as I come in to that airport. My method of my thinking at that point was all quite good. Wait till you see what happens when I get there. You'll have fun. So I'll keep that in mind. I'll not spoil that at the moment, but we've got the approach in the way I want at the moment. It looked good in Navigraph, so that's what we're doing. But like I said, I'll keep my mouth shut. And we'll zoom ahead to where we're closer to the VOR. Hey, hello, we're back again. So we are getting quite close here. So while I was doing that, I was going to activate my approach so I can get my wee magenta line coming the way I want. But when you do that, it sets you up from that position to that first waypoint, which is what I didn't want to do. I wanted to continue doing my VOR. So I let it continue all the way down. And now that we're pretty almost close to hitting the centre of it, don't want to deviate too far away, is we'll do a direct to again to that waypoint from now, and hopefully if I switch myself onto GPS mode, back onto nav mode, fingers crossed this is going to work the way I want it to work. I don't have to come all the way down into the centre of that VOR, because I don't want to go right through it and away way down, see further down. So my plan was working, and that's all I wanted. I wanted to see if I could use my skills to head towards it, which is what I did. The wee glitches there, that was part of my sim conking out as well, so I think there was maybe the internet glitch when it was recording, so I had to just leave that the way it was. It looks as though it's doing what I want it to do, and it is using GPS again to get us back over to that first fix on that approach. Hopefully. Is it Venlo? Is it Venlo directed to? So that was me zooming ahead, just so I didn't bore you a wee bit again, and I'm trying to keep the video down as well. I don't want it to be too long. I didn't expect this one to be as long as this. I thought I would be able to cut out quite a bit, but because I was trying to use my skills and I had a wee bit of scenery going on here, I thought we'll just keep this section in, so it's a bit more interesting than me just showing you what I'm doing down the middle of the sea. So I think we'll keep ourselves rocking and rolling at this point. Hopefully. You can see this all okay, and you can see that nobody's around again. I think my server's conked out when them glitches were happening. I think my internet was sort of conking its way around about that point, I think. So I think my server went down as well. So it just looks as though I've not got MD around, but yeah. And we can see there's another wee airport just underneath us. Did I actually see that in the sim a minute ago? I think I did. It's not the airport we're coming into, thankfully. I think it's just right underneath us at this present moment. Well, I'm way too high if it is. If that was the airport I was flying into, great approach this is. But no, we're obviously a lot further ahead to where we should be. So we'll continue using this approach like I planned, because it was taking me along the edge of the coastline, which is what I thought would help to come along. Saves us coming down the middle of the mainland again, like I said, because all you've just seen there is hills and greenery, I think. So I'm kind of hoping this leg's a wee bit more interesting by doing these wee sort of manoeuvres. That's a great wee flight plan. Got to admit, not been to all these areas. I've been to Spain, I've been to mainland Spain. A couple of times I've been to the Canary Islands. I've not really been on the outskirts here, or been to Portugal or anywhere. Maybe somewhere to know in the future, but yeah, we're all looking good. And as you can see, I did put myself up to 2000, because when I was looking at my charts for this approach and what I was hoping was going to happen, so it's going to work like a ILS. and was going to capture the glide slope, and I was going to be able to come down, and to capture the glide slope I had to be at 2000 of altitude. What I didn't anticipate, because it's a VOR DME version, it's visual, isn't it? You have to use the glide path for that one, I'm pretty sure. And at the moment, I didn't set myself up with that wee calculator that's in this Garmin. I was just expecting to do it. So what you'll see pretty soon is schoolboy error, schoolgirl error, if you want to call it that. Nice bit of scenery around about here again. I'll not give you any more hints than that, I'll just let you see what happens. This looks like a wee bit of townland, and that's why I'm in chase cam, having a wee peek around, because I did notice it was coming up to like a wee beach coastline area just round about here, so I wanted to peek out to see if there was any suburban townland about, and there was. So hopefully that captured some of the scenery for you. And at the moment, as you can see, I've made the sounds inside my plane louder, because I have started to use my headset as though I had a headset on in the plane. So I want to capture the full noise, especially with this being a cracking little plane. I want to capture the full ambience of actually being in the plane. So I had put all my cockpit and my plane sounds up, but I've kept ATC at that lower volume. So I think my plane's overriding it a couple of times, and I think that's what came across on the last leg. So you can still hear it in the video. I can hear it when I'm playing it. So while I'm doing this voiceover, it's very faint, I don't hear ATC at all. So I think what we'll do is we'll keep our settings as everybody's okay with that. And then as soon as I see on one of the videos that ATC is too low, there's visual representation there as well if you do want to listen. So look, either or. Yeah. We'll leave the settings as is. A minute. And you can let me know down below if you want it changed. So we peek out windows. It does look down there as though that's a wee seaside town, a wee harbour, doesn't it? Just at the corner of my windshield there. Yep, that's us coming across it now. And as you can see, because we're coming this away, it looks as though we're going to fly over this bit of sea land again. So I'm pretty certain I've edited myself to cut out a bit of the sea. It's just coming down these fixes of this approach, which means we're not too far away. Yep, there's that runway, look, you can see it. point, this is when I'm actually flying it, I was trying to see why it wasn't going to capture, because I'm sure one of these fixes soon was, if it was, there is an ILS version of this approach coming in, that's when it was going to capture the 3-degree glide slope down. But then again, when I'm trying to slow my plane down and I'm putting my flaps and everything down here, I'm trying to see if that's going to work, and I'm sure I tried putting the approach mode on, and I know the approach mode won't work until your wee section going, which means I'm pretty sure that this had to be the VNAV path, and the only way to do it on this plane was to manually put it in yourself and use VNAV all the way down. And I know how to do that, but at this point in that stage, that never ever crossed my mind. So I was just expecting it to do its thing. Which means I can now remember that if I'm doing this kind of approach again, yeah, see, look, there's that runway there. We're still way too high, we're not in line with it. And it's taking me towards that PME beside the airport, which is what it's supposed to do. And I'm supposed to visually sort myself out from then onwards. But I was overload of cockpit flying at this point in time that all this has came to know afterwards. Because what you're going about to see, and that's why I did myself a wee bit of investigation, and a wee bit of thinking of what did I do, and it suddenly dawned on me, see, there's no way of me getting down in time for that runway. I'm still flying towards the DME, which is just at the edge there, which is exactly what the plane's doing, using that DME to come in. I could have used the VNAV path myself and brought myself down. Of course I didn't. And I'm now flying on top of the airport. So, like a true pilot in this situation, realising what I've done, put myself onto manual, and we take over and sort ourselves out. So once again, I always try to use a nice valid approach in, but you've now got me and flying once again. But this is why we practice these things, because if I kept myself going, I could have quite easily crashed or not done anything. But because I know how to get myself down and how to use my instruments and how to manually fly, I can sort myself out here, hopefully. there's no wind, no nothing to keep me from going wrong. So I've got the weather on my side, which is even better. And nice and clear, I can see what I'm doing. So I'm all glad. That's why I kept all this footage in. Maybe a good few years down the line I can look back at this and see how well I behaved. And fingers crossed, by then this will all be second nature. There we go, there's the runway back again. So just bring myself down. Get ETC at my road. Overload. Get the flow, because I pressed the wrong button. So here we go. Looking good. It's not the runway I wanted, the side of the runway I wanted to come in at, but as long as we land at this airport, I'm not bothered. Fingers crossed I can do this nicely. Come in perfect, hopefully. And we float down. Yay, not too bad. Happy with that. Well, there'll be a bit of an eventful flight for yous again. But yeah. We've arrived. Can't remember what airport this was called. Oh, is it Fort? Something like that. Began with an F. I'm sure it began with an F. That's the airport. But we're right at the bottom of the Spain now, I think, and I think we've still got to go round a wee bit further, so I don't know what the next leg is going to entail. Hopefully. Yeah. We're getting there. Give us a break. This looks as though it's quite a big major airport by the looks of things. It's quite well modelled. And this is one of the update ones that they've done. Can't remember if it was or not. Yeah, it does look quite nice. I wonder if big airliners come in here. Does look big enough for them. It does look like a nice sunny day again. Taxi around here. And if that's all wee terminals or that's wee bits of the airport or wee hangars. Looks a nice wee decent sized airport anyway. There's no add-ons, remember. Don't do add-ons at the moment. Yeah. Here we go. And because this video's been quite long, I think what we'll just do here is we'll just get ourselves packed up. Instead of doing our shut-off procedure, I think we'll just call it a day. And we'll say cheerio, and hopefully we'll see you all again soon.